Good day, everyone. Welcome to another session for our subject, Inquiries, Investigations, and Immersions, or the 3I. So since you already done with your topic, research question, or research problem, and purpose statement, we are now going to jump into the first part of drafting or creating or something like writing a research study, which is more on chapter 1. The chapter 1 is most likely all about the problem and its background. So in here, we're trying to identify the inquiry and we have to state the problem. Of course, and today's learning goals, we have design a research useful in life, write a research title, describe background of research, state research questions, cite benefits and beneficiaries of study, indicate scope and the limitation of study, and of course, we have to present written statement of the problem. So, in in chapter 1, of course, it includes the introduction and the four parts of it includes the background of the study, statement of the problem, significance of the study, and scope and the limitation. So today's session, we are going to determine how are we going to write those following parts of the chapter 1. Okay, remember that you cannot proceed to the chapter 1 unless you are done already with this part of our research wherein I ask you to come up with your topic, you come up with your research problem, and of course the purpose statement or the reasons why you come up with that problem, and of course research question. With this, I ask you as well to come up with your related literature so that we can determine whether you can proceed or not with your topic that you have chosen. Okay, so once we are done with it, and that is the time that we will now going to draft our chapter 1, okay, which is all about the introduction. Okay, so first part of the introduction is the background of the study. So from the term itself, background of the study, it is actually the description that leads the reader to understanding the research question and appreciate why they are asked. So from the time that you will going to read this part, automatically the reader of your research can determine what is actually the purpose of coming up with this research. Okay, so in writing this section, we have to introduce and briefly define the variables under the study. Now, why is it we have to identify variables? It's all because we need to define, we need to explain to the readers what are the different variables that you have. Say, for example, I ask you to identify asan sa topic nyo yung independent and the dependent variable. So you have to name it under this section or you have to introduce it very briefly. Hindi necessary na mahaba talaga yung description nyo sa inyong variables as long as it is well defined. Okay? Another part is we have to cite the most important study or related literature because since the background of the study is the description that leads to the reading and understanding the research question, we have to make sure as well na ilalagay natin yung mga articles or part of an articles that is really related in your study that could be the basis of answering your questions. Next, be consistent with the terms. Yes, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo before. Say, for example, in your research title, you come up with the term academic performance. So, the term academic performance as part of your variable, kailangan academic performance talaga yung gagamitin natin ng term from the very start of our research down to the other parts of it. Okay? Ensure that paragraphs summarize and resolve issues conflicting findings, social concerns, or educational, national, or international issues. Of course, since it also leads the research question, kailangan din natin sabihin dito yung pinaka tanong natin, bakit tayo nag-come up sa research natin under background of the study. Okay? Write the last paragraph to highlight the research gap. Meaning, from the article na meron tayo before, kung ano yung mga available na, kung ano yung kulang, pwede nating i-highlight yun as part of our background of the study. Okay. So, this is the clear picture of how we were going to write a research study. Okay. As much as possible, the background of the study should be brief. Ibig sabihin, concise siya. Ibig sabihin, lahat na ng details na sinabi ko on how or what are the things to be written in the background of the study, dapat nakapaloob na siya doon sa study. Pero, hindi kinakailangan na mahaba talaga siya. It is meant to provide context and background. That is background that should not be in history lesson. So, not like history thing na kailangan talaga natin ilagay lahat ng details. No, it's not like that in the background of the study. We need to be very specific and we need to have direct to the point. Remember that the research study is formal writing. So, hindi natin kailangan ng mga mabulaklak na words or paragraphs or sentences here, but what we come up here is direct to the point na mga points na gusto nating i-indicate or ilagay sa study natin. It should state clearly the problem being investigated, the background that puts the problem in context, and the reasons for conducting the research. Yes, para kasing summary ang background of the study, kaya tinawag siya na background of the study. Ilalagay natin yung problema na nakita natin, tapos ano talagang reasons bakit natin gustong i-conduct iyon. You should summarize relevant research to provide context and state the questions you're answering. Yes, kasama rin yan sa sinabi ko or in-explain ko kanina. Okay. In one of our seminars, it was indicated na meron tayong tinatawag na 4-4-6 pattern in writing background of the study. Pero kung di naman natin ma-follow, it's okay as long as we are sticking to the conciseness of our background of the study. So, ano yung 4-4-6 pattern? Okay. The background should have 4 paragraphs, 4 sentences in each paragraph, and 6 words in a sentence. Okay. So, pag nakita niyo yung background, as much as possible, meron lang tayong 4 paragraphs. Although, in each paragraph is, di natin malalaman kung may 4 sentences lang tayo and 6 words in a sentence. So, at least, mag-stick na lang tayo sa pattern na 4 paragraphs. Okay? So, meron din tayong tinatawag na 4 elements in writing background of the study. So, element number 1 is your first paragraph. Okay? So, anong meron sa first paragraph or sa element number 1? Of course, state here the setting or context of the study. Setting, ibig sabihin, saan gaganapin? Ano talaga yung konteksto ng study na meron tayo? So, ibig sabihin, as you, kunwari, ang part in your study is more on in Tawagan Sur National High School, pwede nyong i-indicate in the first paragraph na in Tawagan Sur National High School, okay, yun palang mismo, makikita na natin saan talaga magaganap yung research or naganap yung research, okay? Tell what the study is all about. So, para lang yun kung nag-i-introduce tayo ng sarili natin, di ba? Tatanong kayo, tell something about yourself. So, most likely, yung pinaka-importante na mga bagay na kailangan sabihin, yun lang din ang sasabihin natin sa sarili natin. Ganun din when we come up with our first element. Yung pinaka-importante at mismong reasons, mismong topic, yung ilalagay natin sa element number 1. Okay, so the second element is your For the second paragraph, so sa paragraph number 2, state the information that are already known. So, ibig sabihin, pwede nating ilagay yung mga or mag-cite tayo ng mga articles kung saan nag-exist na yung information tungkol sa study nyo. Okay? O, yun na sinasabi ko. Tell what the literature is about your study. Okay, yun lang yung nandun sa second paragraph. Pero actually, meron din kaming iba't ibang technique in writing background as a study. First element is, sabihin natin yung, or mag-explain tayo or mag-briefly describe tayo ng, anong tawag yan, ng first variable natin. Second paragraph is yung second variable natin. Pwede rin ganun. So, depende naman din sa inyo. But what I am discussing you today is just a guide as well in making a background of the study. So, going back to number 3 element, which is the third paragraph, state the gaps. Tell the gaps into knowledge. Ibig sabihin, kung ano yung, or di kaya kung hindi man gani gaps, is ano yung connection ng mga variables mo to one another. Pwede yun ang ilagay natin into element number 3. Kung ano yung medyo hindi natin na-discuss sa paragraph number 2 na pwede natin extend, pwede natin ilagay sa element number 3 or paragraph number 3. Some fourth element is the fourth paragraph and the last paragraph. Okay, so state the intention of your investigation. Ibig sabihin, dito na natin ilalagay kung ano talaga yung purpose statement natin. Although, minsan pabalik-balik na sinasabi natin, but again, di ba, ang background of the study is the overview of the study. So, kailangan ilagay talaga natin yung reason for coming up with this research. So, tell here the purpose or objective of the investigation. The end of this paragraph with the significance of the study, value of the study. Okay. So, ilalagay na natin sino yung pwede nating mabibigyan ng benefits sa study doon sa last paragraph natin. So, meron akong example dito. This is actually an output from my last advisory class that I have with the 3 eyes because last year hindi ako yung naghawak ng 3 eyes ng advisory class ko. So, ito yung pinaka-last and this research study was being awarded as the best research output. So, I'll just want to share to you kung paano ginawa ng estudyante yung research output niya. So, I want to commend Jamila for Samandar. Siya yung proponent or researcher kasama si Hadia Mama in coming up with this good research study. So, yung title ng research niya is Diversity of Religion, Its Effect on the Student's Perception Towards Making Friends. So, ibig sabihin, ang variable niya dito, first variable is the diversity of religion. Diversity of religion meaning yung pagkakaiba ng religion na meron tayo dito sa tawagan sa school at ano yung perception ng mga estudyante para makakakuha tayo ng friends or maka-come up tayo with our friends. Okay? So, madaling salita, ano yung epekto ng pagkakaiba ng religion sa perception ng mga estudyante para sa pagiging or coming up with friends. Okay, ito yung first paragraph niya. Okay, so sa background of the study, kung mababasa nyo, okay, I will just read all together, ha? Diversity of religion, or usually called as religious diversity, is the coexistence of one religion in the same setting. It has been observed in every school that students' population is composed of diversified religions. The fact that students have different perception on other religions, they are still expected to associate with one another. Moreover, it is being claimed that one religion is as good as any other, that having diversity of religion is not as bothering as it is to almost students. Okay. So, kung makikita nyo, meron pa siyang citation. Now, kung mapapansin nyo, it does not really follow the standard format because yung 4446 pattern, 446 pattern na sinabi ko kanina, it's just a guide. But still, it depends sa inyo kung paano nyo susulatin yon. Pero, sinabi ko kanina na meron din tayong technique, di ba? Wherein, in the first paragraph, pwede nating i-explain yung first variable natin or yung dependent variable talaga natin. That is why yung sa kanya, ang ginawa niya is yung pinaka-point or pinaka-main topic niya, yun yung in-explain niya sa first paragraph. Okay, how about the second paragraph niya? Okay, as of today, so religious diversity population is increasing. On the Philippine-based religion demographics, religious groups namely Roman Catholic, Islam, Iglesia ni Cristo, Christian, and others have total population in percentage of 80.9%, 5%, 2.3%, 4.5%, and 7.3% respectively. And arguably, even student bodies are such more diverse, which means that students are going to come across students of different race, culture, and religions. Students need to learn how to be able to accept these differences and not be judgmental. So, sa second paragraph niya, dun niya na talaga nilagay kung ano yung existing information na meron tayo sa ngayon. Okay, ito yung nakalagay na sa isang article na medyo ginawa niya as basis in coming up with the background of the study. Okay, so do not forget as well kung maglalagay man tayo ng anong tawag yan, ng isang part ng isang article, make sure as well that we have to cite it. Although medyo mali tayo sa pagkaka-come up with the citation, no? Pero later on, I will teach you how we're going to do that. Okay. So, yun. Pangatlo, which is her third element or third paragraph. So, nandun na makikita yung gap. Okay? So, on the other hand, many teachers feel uncomfortable teaching in a school with diverse religion. McLaren states that teachers worry about offending students' religion and their own perception. However, the case it is not only the teachers who worry about dealing with the different religions, but also the students themselves. Many students find an atmosphere in campus which corrupts their morals and erodes their faith. So, kung ma-notice nyo, dito na dahil sa number 3 na paragraph niya, andito na nakasulat yung gap. Ano yung connection na nung first paragraph at second paragraph niya sa second variable niya, which is the perception of the students in making friends. So, nakalagay naman yun dito. And pang-apat na paragraph or last paragraph that we have is dito niya na nilagay yung setting ng kung saan gaganapin yung research or ginanap yung research study niya. So, Tawagan Surrey National High School is composed of students' religious diversity. Around 90% of the population is composed of Roman Catholic, Islam, and Christian diversity. With that, this study, aims to investigate whether diversity of religion truly affects the perception of every student towards making friends. So, it is clear na nilagay niya dito yung setting, yung purpose statement, and yung reason coming up, or sa pagbasa mo pa lang, makikita mo na sino yung pwede nating bebenefitahan or bibigyan ng benefits from this study. So, kung makikita nyo, ganito lang kaiksi yung background of the study niya because the important thing in our research, it should be straight to the points. O, diba? So, maikli lang masyado. That is why I really want you to come up with supposed to be a class, but since we are running out of time and we tend to be very busy preparing for the face-to-face, kaya I'll just make a video lesson for this. Okay, so ganito lang ang example niya and ito lang din yung i-require ko sa inyo in coming up with your background of the study. Okay? So that is the background of the study. So, in coming up your research, so supposed to be we'll have the workshop, no? Pero you'll do it by your group na lang. So, our workshop is for you to come up with your background of the study o pwede nyo nang ilagay yun dun sa mga Google Docs ninyo. So, just remember that in making a background of the study, you have to ask these questions. What the study is all about, what the literature says about your study, and what are the gaps in knowledge, and what are your intentions. By answering these questions, which is number 1 is your paragraph number 1, number 2 is the paragraph number 2, 3 is the paragraph number 3, and number 4, paragraph number 4. So, kapag nasunod lang natin to, no, in coming up with background of study, walang magiging problema. Just remember that the background of the study is a brief description of or the overview of your entire study. Yun lang importante doon. So, tapos na tayo sa background of the study. Next na natin is yung tinatawag nating second part of the introduction or chapter 1, which is the statement of the problem. Kapag nakagawa na kayo ng research question, yung sa unang pinakagawa ko sa inyo, madali na lang sa inyo gumawa ng statement of the problem. Because in the statement of the problem, it contains the purpose statement and the research question. So, the study or research aims to, okay, paano nyo ilalagay yon? Make sure that pag nilagay natin yan is congruent din siya or naka-align din siya sa research title natin. Okay, specifically, this research seek to, okay. So, phrase questions with the data to be collected in mind. Answer the questions and rephrase the questions if you intended answer does not match the question. Okay. So, ito yung mga different examples ng research question natin wherein I ask you to come up with at least 3 specific questions, but of course, we need to come up with one generalized question. Okay? So, you can post this video lesson if you want to read because some of details here come from our seminar from JRMSU professor. Okay? So, these are another examples, okay? Okay, I will just jump in siguro, no, sa example na ibinigay nyo ko sa inyo kanina, which is related to the diversity of religion. Okay, ito yung question niya. So, kung makikita nyo, sobrang ikli lang din. But of course, in the first paragraph of your question, you have to come up with a general aim or general intention. So, ang ginawa niya statement of the problem. So, this study generally aims to determine if senior high school students' diversity of religion possesses a significant effect on the students' perception towards making friends at Tawagan Sur National High School, Pagadian City during the second semester of school year 2019-2020. So, makikita nyo, paulit-ulit na minention dito yung setting. At the same time, we have to determine or ilalagay din natin kung anong buwan or anong taon natin ikakandak yung study natin. So, it is clear here that hindi talaga sa junior high school natin gagawin ng study. Hence, we will utilize the senior high school student. Regardless whether UMS ba siya, ICT ba siya, kasi ang nilagay dito is brothing, which is the senior high school student. And of course, if meron tayong generalized question, meron tayong 3 specific question which will be answered as well in our chapter 5, 'di ba? Sa findings and research. So, specifically, this study seeks answer to the following question. Number 1, what could be the possible perception of students having different religion toward making friends? Number 2, what could be the possible effects of diversity of religion of students' perception towards making friends? And 3, in what way does diversity of religion affect students' perception towards making friends? So kung manonotice nyo, lahat ng question dito are really congruent or aligned with our research title. Okay? Or yung main point talaga natin, which is na makikita sa research title. Okay? Maybe you get quite confused with the number 1 and the 2 questions, pero magkaiba talaga yon because ang number 1 is asking about the student's perception, and number 3 is asking about the possible effects of diversity of religion. So, katulad din ng gagawin natin sa inyo, especially if you're into quantitative research, number 1 question, we try to ask or to come up with the question asking all about the first variable that we have. The second one is question asking about the second variable. Okay? And third one, kung may effect ba silang dalawa. This is true, especially when you have the correlational research. So, the format niya, yun talaga yung importante ha. And again, do not forget the setting, who will be to answer as well the questions that you post in your research study. So, ah, yun lang yun. So, let's just look back. Okay? So, we have to consider the following for discussion. Sige. The following topic, babalikan natin yung ano yung talaga yung topic natin, ano yung research problem natin, ano yung purpose statement natin, and the research question that we have. What are some of the important guidelines in making research title? What purpose does background of the study serve? Okay. Describe the section of the statement of the problem. O, yun yung pinaka-importante. Okay? Next na is ang third part na tayo, which is the significance of the study. From the term itself, significance, ano yung essentialities or ano yung bakit importante yung study na meron tayo. So, in this chapter, part 3 of the chapter 1, it states the audience who will benefit. So, sino yung makakakuha ng information from your study, from a study of the problem, and explain how exactly will the result be significant to them. So, ano yung benefits, and sino yung makaka-benefit from your study. Yun yung tinatawag nating significance of the study. So, in writing this section, in paragraph form, of course, cite the beneficiaries. Example, students ba yung makaka-benefit? The professor or teachers ba? The university administrator, the school admins ba? Parents ba? Galing sa result ng study na meron tayo. For each beneficiary group, kailangan natin specifically describe how it will benefit from the findings. Kunwari, pinili niyo na estudyante yung makaka-benefit. Kailangan nyo indicate bakit at para saan or paano makaka-benefit yung result ng study nyo para sa estudyante. Okay? So, ito yung mga example on grafting a significant of the study. So, what will be the general contribution of the research? So, kung makikita natin, this study will be able to contribute research-based data and knowledge as the possible relationship of between students, a senior high school student, use of social media, the topic here, social media, and the attention span. So, furthermore, the society in general, okay, the entire beneficiaries of the study can make informed decisions that are relevant to this area. Sige, we'll just jump into the example that is cited by the previous student, no? Paano niya ginawa yung significance of the study niya. So, ito yung example. So, this study will be able to contribute research-based data knowledge on the possible relationship between senior high school students' diversity of religion and their perception towards making friends. Furthermore, the society in general can make informed decisions that are relevant to this area. This shall be beneficial to the students for it will, nakalagay dito ha, it will help them to be informed if having diversity of religion on students' population affect them in terms of their perception towards making friends. In addition to that, this will also give benefit to the parents to be aware if their children's perception on making friends is being affected by diverse religion in school. Moreover, this study could be beneficial to the professors, okay, universities and administration and other researchers. So, yun lang yung significance of the study. Di ba, madali lang? Okay, we are now in the fourth part and last part of the chapter 1, which is the scope and delimitation. So, before that, scope and limitation siya. So, ngayon, medyo nagbago ang panahon. It is called now as delimitation. So, under this fourth part, this presents the coverage of the research in terms of location o setting, time, kailan gaganapin, sino yung respondents, and others, and the potential weaknesses or problems that will study identified by the researcher. So, what the researcher does not intend to do, kailangan nakalagay na siya sa delimitation and scope natin. A researcher must appreciate that the research must define the limitation and inform others about what what are the scope of the research. So, paano natin susulat yung scope and delimitation? So, in writing it, this section, cite the data collection. O, paano natin magko-collect tayo ng data? So, mag-identify din tayo ng school involved, ilang classes ang meron tayo, anong grade level. This scope and delimitation are very specific na dayon. Ilang number of students ang kukunin natin, anong topics of the lessons covered, okay? So, state as well the inadequate measures of variable, loss or lack of participants, small sample, kung meron man tayong errors in measurement. Oh, this is in terms of quantitative research. Okay, another factors that is related to the collection of the data. So, ito yung example niya. Kunwari, okay, in the case of this one, they uses a multiple collective case study, okay, case study sa kanilang ginawa nila wherein they focus on the effects of diversity of religion of grade 11 and grade 12 senior high school students' perception toward making friends in Tawagan Sur National High School, Pagadian City in second semester of academic year 2019-2020. So, maklaro naman siguro, no? Kung ano yung data collection procedure natin, saan ginanap, sino yung respondents natin, at anong taon or gagawin yung title. I mean, yung study. And furthermore, the study limited itself to the senior high school students' diversity of religion. Diversity of religion meaning yung sa isang school merong different religion yung mga bata, merong Islam, merong Roman Catholic, may Christian or Protestant makahap, and did not touch the ethnic affiliation where the students belong to. So, dito, in-indicate talaga kung ano yung hindi nakasali. Kasi most likely, pag sinasabi nilang Islam is medyo nirelate na nila into ethnic affiliation ng mga estudyante. But this is not the case here. It is clearly stated na kung ano lang talaga yung i-cover ng study natin. So, yun lang ang actually ang part of the chapter 1 which is more on the introduction, background of the study, statement of the problem and significance of the study, and of course, the scope of the limitation. Now, what you are going to do is, once your study is already approved, okay, for continuous use of your research topic na, so pwede na kayong gumawa ng chapter 1. All you have to do is to type that one into the Google Docs that we have, yung binigay kong Doodle Doc sa inyo, each group, and make sure as well that you have to read first your output before you going to pass that one to me. Or di kaya, just read, all the members should read the output first para meron kayong collaboration and cooperation within the group, no? Hindi puwedeng isa lang tao talaga ang gagawa nito because madali lang naman siya. Puwede niyong i-chop-chop yung parts ng chapter 1 para lahat ng members is puwedeng, maka-give ng idea in coming out with the chapter 1. So, if you have queries, if you have questions, just do not hesitate to ask me. Okay? So, that is all about for our session today. So, thank you so much and God bless us all.